Coffee, cinema, conversations. Like, share, subscribe. February is here, and February is always synonymous with Valentine's Day. It's all about love, love, and lots of love. And we are here. We will be talking about romance genre because it's something we both, it's a genre that we like.
I like watching romantic comedies more. The reason why I prefer is, see, for romantic comedies, right? If you try to, try to fit it on a scale of, say, 0 being, there's no way in hell that is happening, to 1 being like, yeah, this could happen. I generally like movies which tend to be closer to 0 because you don't want to be reminded of things that are happening in life anyways. It'll be a little more easier when you watch movies which are so outrageous, there's no way in hell that is happening, but you know what, it's nice to watch. So that's my whole thing with romantic comedies. They're like movies which I'll keep going back. It's nice to just watch.
For me, it's slightly opposite. I like romance as a genre, so it can be a romantic drama, it can be a romantic comedy, and as long as it moves me, be it a drama, romantic drama, or romantic comedy, I am game for it. I'm not a very rom-com fan because I feel like I get angry when I watch rom-coms. I'm like, no way in hell it's gonna happen like this to anybody in real life, unless you have to be like really, 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 your stars really have to align that well for things to work out the way it does in any rom-coms, which was, if you remember, 90s and 2000s was just rom-coms. So the amount of Hollywood rom-coms I watched, it just, most of the time, it just pissed me off.
But that's what makes it fun, I feel like. Let it be as outrageous as possible. Cool.
I prefer realistic endings.
So clearly we have different things. So let's see.
Let's start with your favorite movie in this genre.
Okay, this is a movie which literally has inspired like hundreds of Hallmark movies. The movie I'm talking about is You've Got Mail.
Hey, I love You've Got Mail. You've Got Mail is my yearly Christmas movie.
You've Got Mail is what I think started spawning all those Hallmark movies where one rich person comes to buy the small business, and somehow that the rich person and the small business owner starts developing feelings and all that. Again, in this case, Tom Hanks' character,
Joe Fox.
Yeah, Joe Fox. He's the one who is opening up this big bookstore. And Meg Ryan's character, Kathleen, she runs this bookshop around the corner. And she's got some loyal customers and all that. But of course, she can't compete, at least in business terms, with Joe Fox. And yeah, they meet in that pretext. So clearly they don't see eye to eye. They don't like each other so much. However, this was 1998, so this was at the infancy of internet, and they accidentally just have this mail conversation, mail exchange. They talk about things, and then over there, they are actually opening up as to who they are and how they see movies and books and life and stuff like that. So for me, see, this movie is very close to that, like earlier, the spectrum I mentioned cannot almost happen, because let's say in real life, some random person mailing you could be a weirdo out there. But in this movie, it's like, yeah, it just happens to be the leads and all that.
I would like to say You've Got Mail as a very, very plausible, optimistic movie.
There is possibility over there. It can definitely happen. So also, I feel like, that movie was, it's such a nice, comfortable, cozy watch. It was more about making you just feel nice, just make you feel warm, cozy. So yeah, I think You've Got Mail nails that.
Very good pick, for a start, because even I can go on and on about that movie because it's also one of my favorite rom-coms. My first pick of the list is a 2017 movie called The Big Sick, which stars Kumail Nanjiani and Zoe Kazan. The movie is actually written by Kumail Nanjiani and his wife, and it is a story of how they met and how they fell in love. It's a typical rom-com way, a guy meets a girl, there's some fight, but here the twist is Kumail Nanjiani is Pakistani American, so he comes from a proper Desi background where parents decide, who your partner is going to be. They want him to marry some Desi girl, and he is a stand-up comedian who just doesn't understand the concept of arranged marriages, and that's how he meets this girl. Her name is Emily, and how they fall in love, and how they eventually they in between fall out of love because she feels that maybe he's not being honest with her about how serious he is about relationships. But what happens is she falls sick, and he's there for her during that whole period, and that is a period where he understands what love is, what relationship is, and he meets her parents, which is initially very awkward, but that helps in the foundation of their relationship. It's a very cliche movie, you know what the ending is going to be, but it's just how they've infused humor in it, how they've infused the desi family quirkiness without making it seem very stereotypical. Because I'm guessing because it's written by Kumail himself, so he made sure to keep the stereotype away.
I mean, it was inspired from their real life story.
There's Anupam Kher in the movie as Kumail Nanjiani's father, and the movie it's so easy breezy, but it's so amazingly written. That's why I was hooked to the movie till the end, even though I knew what the ending is going to be.
A rom-com would involve the couple, right? And in this movie, I think for the majority of the movies, Zoe Kazan's character, she's hospitalized and all that. So in that sense, I think it was a bit of a change, because although they call it like a romantic comedy, it's more about like Kumail Nanjiani's character like sort of getting to know her parents and them getting to know him
And them trying to separate him from all the whatever idea they have about his community, his faith.
Yeah, so that was bound to happen. So I feel like in that sense, it was like, I feel like it's less of a rom-com and more of a feel-good movie, I guess.
It's a feel-good movie. It's a good romantic movie, in my opinion. It's a good rom-com. It was a very, like, when I watched it, it was such a breath of fresh air. What's yours next?
Okay, this movie I can say, with guarantee I can itself say, as like, no way in hell this is happening. Okay, but I don't know, it's like one of those movies which I'll keep going back. So this movie came out in 2001. It's called Serendipity.
Oh my god, I'm gonna barf. Like that movie at all. But yeah, go on.
Anyways, so for me, this movie, it's sort of like what kind of got me hooked to John Cusack, okay, as an actor. Like,
and not High Fidelity?
see, like I said, for me, it was like, this was that movie which, before that, High Fidelity, I think I'd seen it, but I can't remember so much. But this movie, yeah. So, look, simple story is, so John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale. Again, this movie set a very different image of Kate Beckinsale in my head. And then about 2-3 years later, she started doing the Underworld movies where she's this Lycan hunter and all that. Simple enough movie. They are two strangers. They run into each other in I think a Macy's store in New York somewhere. And they sort of hit it off. Okay, they feel that instant attraction and all that. Obviously, they both are in relationship with others and all that. They think that it is too convenient, it is too easy, maybe they're getting too infatuated and all that. So after the first 15-20 minutes, they separate, and then they go on with their lives. But after some years, they still can't get that image of the other person out, and so they're trying to find each other now, right? So the attempts what John Cusack is making, and from the other end, Kate Beckinsale's character is making. So it's like, see, realistically speaking, come on, they meet in New York City, which has like, I don't know, 8-10 million people, for exactly two people to just meet like that and all that stuff. It's highly improbable, but slight chance. Anyways, for me, what I like about that movie is, being a rom-com, the leads of the movie are only together at the starting like 10 minutes or so, and right at the end. There is optimism, and then there is like whatever serendipity. Like I said, it's a comfortable, cozy watch for me. I go back, I watch it every now and then.
I don't have anything to say about this movie because I'm gonna jump to my movie now. My next pick is a movie which I watched in college, and I watched it so many times after that. This is a 1999 movie called 10 Things I Hate About You, which has Julia Stiles, Heath Ledger, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and it's a typical high school teen rom-com, but a lot of feminism in it, because Julia Stiles' character, she's a feminist who says that who doesn't want to like fall in love just because everybody else is falling in love, just because. So she is it's the movie is based on Taming of the Shrew, which is William Shakespeare's play, but this movie is just like a modern retake of that. I've not read Taming of the Shrew. I'm just guessing it's like a modern adaptation of that.
If I remember correctly, 10 Things I Hate About You is sort of what kickstarted all that high school movies in Hollywood, because I think some years later is when, that She's the Man and, all those movies started coming out.
Yeah, the story of the movie is very complex. It's actually not complex. It's just you have to watch the movie to understand the story. There's this girl who doesn't want to conform with the whatever the do anything just because others are doing it. But she has a sister who is slowly becoming famous. But their father is a gynac, keeps having these rules that you can't date, and he eventually agrees. Okay, if my older daughter dates, then the younger one can date. So they have to go to there's a lot of small teen parties and all, and how eventually Julia Stiles starts dating Heath Ledger's character, who's the most unlikable guy in the school, but he turns out to be slightly likable. Yeah, so the movie is slightly complex. It's a little layered screenplay, but you need to watch it to understand it. I love the fact that the movie is so innocently made. I mean, even it doesn't become very preachy. It's easy breezy, but again it has so many things to say in that about teen pressures and the kind of nonsense kids go through in high school just to be able to fit in. So that whole issue, what teenagers go through, it's done very lightly but in a very good way, which I thought was very impressive. There's Heath Ledger, there's Julia Stiles, their chemistry is off the roof. I always wanted to do the paintball thing with my future partner, boyfriend, whoever. If I ever get to do that, I thought, okay, this is a very fun way to hang out with your partner.
Rom-coms should be that. Just keep it normal, just keep it simple.
Also, 10 Things I Hate About You has a banging soundtrack. Those songs I still listen to. I go back to those songs even now.